Juror number 2 is directed by Clint Eastwood in what could be the final film of his storied career, whether it's acting-wise, directing-wise. This stars Nicholas Hoult, J.K. Simmons, Toni Collette, Zoe Deutsch, and Kiefer Sutherland. While serving as a juror in a high-profile murder trial, family man Justin Kemp finds himself struggling with a serious moral dilemma, one he could use to sway the jury verdict and potentially convict or free the accused killer. The release strategy from Warner Brothers for this movie makes no sense whatsoever. You have a storied director and actor in Clint Eastwood possibly making the final film of his career, and you only choose to release it in 50 theaters. Doesn't make sense to me. It was originally supposed to go to Max. They came to this deal. They said, yes, there's no plans to release it in more than 50 theaters. It's not scheduled to go to a wide release, which is a damn shame because I think that this would play very well to the older crowd like Conclave did. Wouldn't you want people to see what could be Clint Eastwood's final movie he ever makes? I would think so. And for me, if this is it, Clint Eastwood goes out in a bang. This is one of his better recent outings. I think this is his best movie since Richard Jewell. There's a lot of moral dilemmas that this movie has to answer, and I like the way that this movie is structured because there's a twist towards the beginning of the movie that if somebody else had written this movie, it would probably be a third act twist. You see how great Nicholas Hoult is in this movie because he's just got a lot of stares full of anxiety and fear, and once something is revealed, you can see the subtlety in the expression on his face where it's like, shit, I might be screwed. Maybe people might find it more effective if certain twists and turns were revealed in the third act. But for me, I found some twists and turns that were revealed towards the second act to be far more effective because I was like, he's a man with a conscience. He's thinking back on events. And there's things in here where it's like, how is that going to play out? And if it wasn't structured like that, I don't think the movie would be as effective for me as it is in the way that it is presented. And that's why I think Juror number 2 has a bit of heaviness to it. It weighs the morals of what's right and wrong when there may be secrets revealed on trial that you are a juror for. The acting all across the board is fantastic. I've already talked about Nicholas Hoult, who has a collected anxiety to his demeanor. His demeanor allows the viewers to just let the quieter, more subtle moments sink in and make it feel like it's a little bit reflective, trying to think back on certain things, trying to think about what is right and wrong. And it's reflective in a way where it shows how certain right or wrong morals can weigh on one's conscience, especially when you're part of the jury of a high-profile murder case. Toni Collette is really good in this movie. J.K. Simmons is really good. There are a couple of characters, though, that I just feel like are a bit of a waste. I mean, I don't know if the payoff was quite there for me with some characters. Like, J.K. Simmons is in the first half of this movie, and then the second half, he just disappears. And I'm just like, I don't think you would have a high-profile actor like J.K. Simmons just disappear halfway into the movie like this movie has him do. And there's reasons for it, and it makes sense. But I wanted more of him. I was like, this is interesting. They took one interesting aspect of the movie and kind of removed it, and that was a bit disappointing for me. But he's J.K. Simmons. He's great anyway. Kiefer Sutherland has a small role in this movie. Kiefer Sutherland, I'm usually kind of used to him just being, I'm not used to him being Jack Bauer because I never watched 24, but I'm used to Kiefer Sutherland just being like this tough, white-knuckle guy that you would see in all those old 80s and 90s movies, maybe some early 2000s movies, and here he's more calm and collected. He's a character I wouldn't really expect him to play. And while the movie is shot a bit blandly, the movie did keep me on the edge of my seat because I didn't know what would happen next. So that's Juror number 2 for you. I think that this is an effective enough movie for Clint Eastwood, if this is his final movie, to go out on a bang with. And honestly, really does make you reflect on your moral conscience. And if things like this happen to you, will it weigh you down? Will it affect your personal life? And I think that that's why this movie is sticking with me as well as it does, despite some supporting characters not getting the payoff that they had. I think Juror number 2 is definitely worth watching with a full bucket of popcorn. If you are near one of the 50 theaters that it is playing in nationwide, definitely go see it. I think this is one of Eastwood's best in years. Support somebody who's had a legendary career like this. Make it known to Warner Brothers that this thing should go into a wider release, not just a limited release. I know it's going to be on HBO Max soon, but if you can, if one of these theaters is playing it near you, go see it in a theater. Support the theatrical distribution model. I will leave my link to my website in the description below as well. Thank you guys for watching. As always, my name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.